Hey, I'm Alex, and I love cinnamon rolls. I mean, what's not to like? They're gooey, they're a little crunchy, they've got a glaze, but I've got to say, cinnamon rolls do take a bit of time and energy to make. We all have different schedules, but I believe truly that should not mean we don't get to eat cinnamon rolls. So today, I'm gonna show you how to make a 4-minute, a 40-minute, and a 4-hour version of a cinnamon roll. Let's roll. So we're gonna start with the 4-minute cinnamon roll. This one is super easy, super quick. I'm gonna start with the filling. It's just melted butter, some brown sugar, and some cinnamon, of course. I'm starting with the filling just so we have it done by the time we make our dough. So we've got a little hack here because it's a 4-minute cinnamon roll. I'm gonna be using pancake mix instead of flour because it's already got its leavening agent in there and we can skip a couple steps. All it takes is an egg, some vanilla, some sugar, some milk. I'm gonna mix this up. Now we're gonna add in our pancake mix. Now again, this isn't a classic cinnamon roll, so don't come for me. If you want a cinnamon roll in a pinch, this might just do the trick. So our dough's looking pretty good. Got a little bench flour on there, and we're gonna do a little kneading action. It's pretty cool that pancake mix works in this. I mean, a lot of people have pancake mix in their cupboards already. Once you got a smooth ball, you're good. So now I'm gonna roll this out. I'm not a big measurer, but we're going for about an 8x6 rectangle. All right, we're good on rolling. I'm gonna start spreading the filling over this. Super easy, just try to get it all there evenly. Now we're gonna roll this up. I'm gonna try to do it pretty tightly so we get a good swirl and then kind of just push it along. We're gonna cut this baby in half. Oh yeah, that's a swirl. We're gonna be microwaving this cinnamon roll. So I just greased these to make sure they come out easy, and now I'm just gonna pop in our little cinnamon rolls. How cute. And for the final step, I'm gonna pop a teaspoon of water in here. This just makes sure that it doesn't get too dry. I'm gonna microwave these for 1:45 at medium power, and then we'll make our frosting. Mix some powdered sugar with some milk. 2 ingredients in this, super easy. That's a great consistency. Not too thick, not too thin. We're making good time. I think I did that in under 10 seconds. Let's go get our rolls and then we can eat. All right, we've got our mugs. They're looking pretty cute. Now I'm just gonna pop on some of that glaze. Yes, you can't have a cinnamon roll without the glaze. 4-minute cinnamon roll, there you go. I mean, they're looking pretty good, smelling pretty good for a microwave cinnamon roll. The last thing we've got to do is eat. I guess you could eat this anyway. You could just eat it with your hands. I'll just go for the center. I have to say, those taste pretty good for how little effort they took to make. The taste is there, it's sweet. Definitely satisfying if you want a cinnamon roll in a pinch. But if you have a little more time and want something a little more classic, I've got the cinnamon roll for you. So this 40-minute cinnamon roll recipe is still super approachable, but a little bit closer to the classic. So I've got my flour already here in the bowl. I'm just gonna add all of our ingredients. So we got milk, melted butter, an egg, sugar, baking powder, salt, and for our final ingredient, instant yeast. So instant yeast is pretty cool because you don't have to wait to activate it like you would active dry yeast, and it's super foolproof, so pretty hard to kill. Now we're gonna mix this all up. So we're looking for like a shaggy dough. You get a little more muscle in there once it gets a little shaggier. We're ready to knead, so I'm just gonna pop this onto our surface and get in there. The dough should kind of come together and you'll be able to poke it and it will spring back. Our dough is looking good. I'm gonna pop that in our bowl, cover it with a towel, and let it rest while we make our filling. All right, now on to our filling, which is essentially the same as our 4-minute filling. We got our brown sugar, our melted butter, and our cinnamon. When I was a kid, I used to like melt butter and sugar and I would eat it as like an after-school snack. That's why I'm like this, guys. It was all that butter and sugar that I ate as a kid. All right, our filling is looking delicious. Good enough for me to eat, but I'll wait. We're gonna roll out our dough. First, we're gonna flour the surface. So again, I like to eyeball things, but we're going for like a 12x16-inch rectangle. She's looking beautiful. We should name her. Her name shall be Cheryl. All right, our girl Cheryl is looking snatched. We're gonna like slap on some makeup on this girl. She is going out tonight. We're just gonna put our filling all over there. We're gonna roll it up Again, I'm going for like the tight roll because the tighter you roll your cinnamon roll, the better swirl you're gonna have. So just take your time. Ooh, there we go. All right, we're all rolled up, so now I'm gonna cut my dough into 9 equal pieces. Wow, Cheryl, she's never looked better. We're gonna pop these in our greased pan. It's already greased. Just gonna start at the end. Just gonna try to squeeze them all in here. All right, they're looking great. A beautiful swirl layer in there. I'm gonna pop these in the oven at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes until light golden brown. And while they're baking, I'm gonna make our frosting. We're making a cream cheese frosting. Still super easy. We just got some powdered sugar, cream cheese, and vanilla. So this is gonna be a little bit thicker consistency than the glaze was, but we want it to be spreadable. A nice creamy texture. All right, delicious. Now we're ready to frost. Damn, Cheryl. She's looking good. So there's really, again, no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just gonna slap on some nut frosting. You gotta get an even layer on each. These are still a little warm, so our frosting should kind of melt down into those swirly, whirly crevices. All right, we're frosty, like the snowman. I'm just gonna take one of these babies out of here. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm drooling. This is more of like your classic, delicious cinnamon roll. Perfect to impress your friends, to share with your friends, and really all you spent was 40 minutes. Let's taste it. And I think I'm gonna go straight for the center. Oh my God, guys, this is like heaven. That's the stuff right there. This is all you need. So obviously this is delicious, but if you want to see something epic, stick around for the next one. The 4-hour cinnamon roll. Well, I know what you're thinking. How could we make a 4-hour cinnamon roll? Seems a little excessive. Well, we're making it giant. Now, I used to be the queen of making things giant back in the day. Sorry, Alvin. But today we're gonna get even crazier with a giant banana walnut cinnamon roll. I'm so excited, I'm so excited. We're gonna start with our warm milk, melted butter, and sugar. I'm just gonna give this a stir. So our liquids are warm to about 100 to 110 degrees because we are using active dry yeast instead of the instant yeast. The warm temperature will help the yeast to bloom. If it's too hot, it will kill the yeast. If it's too cold, it won't bloom. So I'm gonna spread it in an even thin layer over top, just so it gets like the most surface area. So now we're gonna let this hang out for a minute until the yeast gets foamy. Now I'm gonna add in our flour and mix this all up. Again, we're looking for that shaggy dough. So this is gonna be a little bit of a wetter dough than our last one. Because we are doing a double proof method, this will ensure we get a very fluffy cinnamon roll. So I am just gonna cover this and let it sit in a warm spot until it doubles in size. It is time to make the filling for this giant banana walnut cinnamon roll. This is gonna take your cinnamon roll to a whole nother level. All I have to do is melt the butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and a little salt. So I'm cooking this until everything kind of cooks down into a nice saucy kind of thing before I add in our bananas. I'm gonna add in our bananas. I love anything banana flavored, pretty much. Banana bread, banana cake, banana cinnamon roll. If I had a show, it would be called Make It Banana at this point. All right, so I'm gonna let this cook down, stirring in between for about 5 to 7 minutes. We don't want the bananas to be completely mush, but we wanna let them break down a little bit. All right, our filling is ooey, it's gooey. We still got some of that chunk of banana in there. Our filling is looking good, smelling even better. I'm gonna go get the dough and we are gonna roll out this giant cinnamon roll. All right, our dough has risen. It's doubled in size. If you take a close look, you can see some of those air bubbles in there, and that is from our yeast that was alive. Good thing I didn't kill it. So to this dough, I'm gonna add salt, some baking powder, and some flour. So I know this is still feeling a lot like our other recipe, but we're about to get crazy. Now I'm just gonna flip this onto our surface and get to kneading. So the purpose of kneading is to develop the gluten in the dough, and that will help us get a very smooth and elastic dough. You want a nice looking dough ball. We're just gonna get straight into rolling. So I'm gonna roll this to the same dimensions as the last one. We're looking good. We are ready to spread our banana filling. So again, we're just spreading this out in an even layer. And now I'm gonna hit it with some chopped toasted walnuts. Banana and walnut just goes so well together. And it's nice to have a little bit of a crunch in here. That is looking great. I need to cut this into some strips. So I'm first just gonna cut this in half, and then I'm gonna cut each of those in half. Okay. So to make this thing giant, start by rolling this first strip. Try to, again, roll it as tightly as possible so you get that good looking swirl. All right, I'm just gonna pick up this piece and roll that into this piece. Oh man. Okay, last one. We can make it. Maybe a little messy, that's all right. Okay, this monster, get it in there. I have to say, that's looking pretty good. Honestly, I would eat that straight out of the pan right now. All right, so I popped this in a 10-inch cast iron skillet. I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap and pop it in a warm spot to let it rise and expand to the edge of the pan. It'll take about 30 minutes. Oh man, this is wild. I feel like it's my child, like it's a baby. All right, so I'm gonna bake this at 325 for 45 minutes uncovered and then 35 minutes covered in foil. Low and slow. I know it takes a while, but it's gonna be worth it for this baby. All right, we are so close to the finish line, I could almost taste it. But we've got one more thing to do, and that is our final frosting of the day. Another cream cheese frosting, but even more decadent because we're adding butter to this one. So to this powdered sugar, I'm gonna add some milk, some cream cheese, some melted butter, and some vanilla. Again, just gonna mix this up. So we wanna get this nice and smooth so that the sugar is all incorporated. All right, frosting is done. Our bun is out of the oven. Welcome to the world, big guy. So I'm gonna frost this thing, of course. The final touch on this 4-hour ordeal. I have to say, 4 hours flew by. This is a fun thing to do. Beautiful. And I'm gonna top it finally with some more of our toasted chopped walnuts. This is definitely a dish to impress. And there you have it, a 4-hour giant banana walnut cinnamon roll. It's crazy, it's beautiful. You got the texture in there from the walnuts. You got the gooiness from the banana caramel filling. You've got the cinnamon roll. You got everything. And now all that's left to do is eat. Moment of truth. Oh. I'm speechless. It actually looks very beautiful, I must say. Okay. Oh my God, guys. This is gonna be my wedding cake. It's perfect. You get every element that you love of a cinnamon roll, but then that banana flavor pops right in there to say hello, and you're like, where have you been all my life? 10 out of 10. Okay, so we just busted out a 4-minute, a 40-minute, and a 4-hour cinnamon roll. I might have a favorite. I know you're not supposed to pick a favorite child, but if you have a favorite, let me know in the comments below. If you make any one of these, please share and tag me. I'd love to see. And I am gonna go finish this thing. Oh, and remember, there's always time to cook.
Oh, yes.